agenda is a presentation by the United Way of Delaware. Today we're joined by Ms. Sarah Carter, who will make a presentation and give an update to Council on the United Way. Morning, Ms. Carter. Welcome. Your PowerPoint is already on the computer if you just want to bring it up.
There you go.
Push that one.
Yep, you're good.
Oh.
Get you right.
Hello, thank you. Good morning. My name is Sarah Carter. I'm with the United Way of Delaware, and I'm a resident of 20280 Bridgewater Road in Millsboro. I've lived in Sussex County most of my life, and I did have to drive up to United Way to get a job outside of the county. There's a lot of data on what we are lacking here in Sussex County, but there's also a lot of data on what we've done to help Sussex Countyans. Me, along with all of my co-workers at the United Way, have invested more per capita in Sussex County than our other counties. I'd like to think that that's partly due to me because I fight so hard for it. Currently in Sussex County, and I'll skip our little quotes, we have 8,000 children living in poverty. 38,000 children live in Sussex County, but that number has grown. Over 8% from the last numbers that we've updated, there's an 8% growth in our county. And that's not all. Every day it grows, every day we build more, and every day there's going to be people falling in the poverty guideline, under the poverty guidelines in what we call ALICE, which is Asset Limited Income Constrained Employed. You'll hear a little bit about that as we go on, but ALICE is a threshold that United Ways all over the country participate in, and it's a study done by multiple organizations, and it's used as a tool for people to understand what's going on in their counties and all over the state, and trends of poverty and people who don't fall under the poverty level but are one crisis away from being in poverty or from not being able to make it. Across Delaware, we fight to increase reading proficiency by the end of third grade. And the reason we fight, let me go to the next one. The reason that we fight is because if we don't, we'll lose our generation of children. Our children are 4 times more likely to drop out of high school, and data suggests that 2/3 could end up in prison or on welfare. The impact on our economy and social services will have a higher cost. That's the most important part. If we don't invest in our children and the programs that we're already investing in, where we're going in and working with our children, the cost burden is so much higher, such as social services, jail, any of that. Only 32% of our third graders from low-income households in Sussex County are reading at grade level. Across Delaware, we fight to increase the number of students matriculating to college, career, or another service leading to a livable wage job. Why we fight? Most high school students in our low-income communities are not ready for college or a career. 62% of our Delaware jobs require mid to high skills, but only 52% of those are ready. 24% in Sussex County, or less than 24% in Sussex County, are proficient in reading and writing, and that's just general reading and writing. If we don't win in this fight, remedial college classes required means that there's an opportunity gap that widens, and that means that young adults aren't prepared for mid to high level jobs, meaning that we're going to perpetuate the cycle of poverty. So if we don't, one, increase our skills, 2, we won't have jobs that will come here because we don't have the people who are qualified for those jobs. From an ALICE study that we just recently did, 20 of our most common occupations in 2021 got paid 60% less, or 60% of those jobs paid less than $20 an hour.
Can I,
Yes.
Mr. Riley.
is that statistic saying that less than 24% in Sussex County are proficient in reading and writing? Is that what you're saying? Mm-hmm. Less than 24% of what exactly?
Of children. High school.
18 and under? Oh, less than 24%. So you're saying 75% of the children in Sussex County are not proficient in reading and
No,
writing?
75 are proficient, 24,
Are proficient.
and the other 24% are not proficient.
Okay, I'm glad I clarified that.
Yeah.
Even so, it's
Yeah, that's still a very high number. School districts. So supporting our students together, and this is where we go into a little bit about what we do at the United Way of Delaware. Through programs such as learning pods that we do partner with First State Community Action with and do a little bit of our own. We had 125 after school and summer students join in the learning pods, and we continue that every year. We had Governor Fellows, which was over 60 campers and 5 future educators, so people who were leading these fellows who wanted to be educators, and it was like an internship. Stand By Me FAFSA, we work with Delaware Tech to help students entering college and at the high school level fill out FAFSA forms. I don't know if any of you have any children in college or you've tried to fill out a FAFSA form. It is not as easy as it used to be. Even when I first started college at Delaware Tech in 2009, they're very difficult, very lengthy. You do have to take a class, and they're confusing even for parents. So we help parents and students fill out those FAFSA forms. There's 8 school district, public school district, and 1 independent public charter district that we help. We've helped over 36,000 students just last year and 4,600 total teachers and staff. We do not specify where we help with Stand By Me. We have multiple programs, not only in the high schools that it's available and paid for by the Department of Education, but we also have our regular programs, such as the one that I run that helps people with credit budgeting, and a lot more. Life coaching, skills, increasing skills, how to fill out basic things like how to fill out a job application to making a resume. My very own library has given over 58,000 books and 5,800 home libraries to Sussex Countyans. Stand By Me College Cash and Careers, which is that high school program I was telling you about, helps people with in-class workshops. We've completed over 1,400. This number has since grown. There's over 100,000 households in Sussex County. 11,500 are in poverty, and 2,000 or 20,000, almost 30,000 now households are away from one crisis away from disaster. So that means that they don't have enough in savings. They are literally living right on the threshold. They cannot save. Their income is at max, right? And that's what we call ALICE. How we support them is by having a 211 line that has all of the available services within the state, whether it's in Newcastle County, Kent County, or Sussex County. We do go up and down the state, collect resources for organizations that have capacity to take the calls that come in. So you may see when you look on 211, there are some really small non-for-profits that we don't have on our 211 website, and that's because we've asked them and they do not have the capacity to take calls of or clients of which we send. Most of our calls are for housing and shelter, emergency stability housing call and housing and shelter calls, basic needs for food insecurity, financial assistance for utilities and rent, health help. Many of our Sussex County families are having an increased burden with healthcare costs and living costs. And those are most of the calls that we get from 211. And as I stated before, Stand By Me is a program that we've helped just in Sussex County. We have over 5 United Way employees, and then we have our partnerships, which we call our implementation partners, that we get co-funding for or give them money with grants that we receive from various places or from raising money. Our United Way is a little bit different. Normally, United Ways don't have direct service programs. United Way of Delaware, much like a lot of other things in Delaware, is very unique because we do direct service programs like Stand By Me and 211. We house our own 211 line. So over 1,500 clients were served in 2022, and that doesn't count, that's 1,500 new clients, 4,700 appointments, which actually went up to over 5,000 since I made this slide, and $1.5 million in savings and $2.5 million in debt reduction in these clients over the time of the program. I do want to go over an ALICE household survival budget. I did not put the ALICE link on here just because I had 10 minutes and I didn't know how long it was going to take to go through this presentation. But if you see here, these aren't realistic. Honestly, rent for $1,200 is very hard to find in Sussex County. I'm sure you can all agree. These numbers are really hard to go by. I can tell you I have a child in childcare, and I wish that it was only $600 a month for childcare. So these numbers will tell you how much a household family needs to make. It does include taxes. 2 adults with 2 children doesn't even cover what an actual budget is, and you would need to make almost $106,000 for a regular family. Now I want you to think about how much our even county employees make, and do their households make that much money? The answer is probably no, which means that they're ALICE. And again, ALICE is asset limited, income constrained, employed. I know it sounds like a girl name, but a man can be ALICE too. And many of our men in Sussex County are ALICE. These are our Sussex County Serving Partner Agencies. This is not all of them. We have a lot more. These are our major ones, the ones that we do major donations to or major grant funding with. American Red Cross, the Arc of Delaware, Big Brothers and Sisters of Delaware, Boys and Girls Club of Delaware, Catholic Charities, CHEER, Community Legal Aid, DAPI, which is pregnant moms who have to finish high school, Delaware BOAD, which I actually got the opportunity to serve with in the most recent tornado. We did a lot of work out there in Bridgeville, Greenwood, getting all of the volunteers set up, cleaning up debris, and setting up a fund with some local charities to do long-term spending on people who were like Alice, who were literally a disaster away from not being able to make it, and we raised some money and helped them through so that they were able to get through the disaster without falling out of the means of being able to work or have their children get to school. A lot of people had vehicles destroyed, could not pay their deductible on their houses, or for tree removal, for trees going through their windows. And we can only win if we stand united. That's something that they like me to say for United Way, but it's true. A lot of the programs that we do wouldn't be possible without all of the help that we get from the other organizations. I can tell you that they've been instrumental in helping me, especially not having a physical office down here. Like First State Community Action, we do share office space with them sometimes when I need it, meeting clients and helping the community make it through. And then Neighborhood Partners, formerly NCALL, has an office that I've worked out of for my Stand By Me home program. All of the data that was brought to you today can also be found online and at unitedforalice.org. If you want to see the most recent ALICE study, you can really go in and break down what's going on in Sussex County versus other counties, and where our children outcomes, health, all of the major things that you really should know about your county and the population stand. And does anybody have any questions?
Any questions? Any questions, council? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lawson.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Ms. Carter, for being here and for that information. Appreciate it. Council, if you'd like a copy of that presentation, we'll be happy to forward it to you for your information as well. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I was hoping I could make a correction.
Come on forward.
Is this on? So, John, you asked a question about the proficiency, and I guess I had a fan watching from United Way. Actually, less than 24% of our school-age children are proficient, and that number has gone down since COVID. So that was a correction I wanted to make on the presentation that I did. I actually stayed for it. I got nervous. I was like, I think I said something wrong. I'm going to stay and think about it. And then I got a message that I did say it wrong. So you were right the first time, correct.
Your
Less
statement
than-
is that less than 24% of the children 18 and under in Sussex County are proficient
in reading and writing,
reading
correct.
and writing and math.
Correct.
Really?
Yes.
Actually,
it's less now
that
that COVID hit. Yeah.
I assume that'd be based on grade level.
It can go based off of grade level. The Department of Education, I got a bunch of data while I was sitting there.
I mean, it's just
yeah.
not, yeah, okay, that's fine.
Does a really kind of poor job of making it clear on how to read the proficiency data on their website in Delaware. If you were going off of SAT scores strictly, it's less than 10%.
Is that based on state testing too?
It's based off of a mix. So the number we gave you was based off of state testing and survey. If you're going based off of state testing, it's a lot lower.
But as of a few years ago, everybody takes the state test now, regardless of their disabilities.
Correct. No, that's not correct. Disability is typically, they will still have to take a state test, but it's typically a different kind of test.
Okay,
and they can
thank you.
take longer. Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Since you came back, I did have a
Sorry. Go
question.
ahead.
Somebody wanted me to ask you if United Way contributes grants to Planned Parenthood.
So as far as doing like a separate grant, I don't believe that we do. We do something called Do More 24, where you can raise your own money. The money is filtered through United Way. And I believe that they do have a campaign that they get money for. So if you look at our 990, it will show that we do give money to them. But as far as in Sussex County, I don't know that we have one in Sussex County. I'm not sure.
So I guess the real underlying question would be, would tax dollars go to fund Planned Parenthood?
Most of the money that we get through United Way for grant money is specified. You can't just give it out willy-nilly without anything. No tax dollars go to anything that's not program related as far as I'm aware of. I mean, I am a mid-level employee, so I don't see all of the finances, but I do sit in most of our meetings. A lot of what we use it is for our direct service programs like Stand By Me and 211. So most of our funding goes to that and for education. So that doesn't fall within our purview of education. That's more of a health
Right. Well, you gave me the one
organization.
statistic that I will probably never forget today.
Yeah, it's actually a lot less than that since COVID. Students did go through.
I don't know how we begin to cope with a number like that, honestly, at this point.
Yeah,
That's,
so that would mean that more than 75% of our students, children, can't read or write in
very concerning for our
grade
future.
level, and it's gone down every year. Yeah, I was corrected, like I said. So
Thank you
I wanted
for
to make
correcting
sure.
that.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Mm-hmm.